From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Thanks for joining us this morning. It is Monday, December 1st. We are saying that. It is December. Let's open up the windows and get this day started.
When I was passing, there was like family members getting to the scene asking, where are my kids?
A mass shooting in Stockton at a child's birthday party. 4 lives taken and many more lives forever changed. A community looking for answers and police searching for the shooter or shooters. The latest on the investigation.
Our neighborhood, we really need some consensus building out here.
Take 2 for San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie and the new leader of the Sunset District. Who he tapped to be the neighborhood's new supervisor, and whether neighbors think Lurie got it right this time.
It's been my motivation to leave here as a man instead of a child.
Building bridges through education. Meet the woman helping at-risk kids get a college education while in juvenile hall.
Purdy to the end zone, caught for the touchdown.
The Niners are inching closer to the playoffs after a big Sunday win. How the team keeps winning despite a load of injuries.
All right, it's Monday, and it's the Monday after a holiday weekend, so I'm sure we are all yawning in sync right now as we wake up and head outside this morning. A few things we want to talk about. It's off to a cool start, so make sure you grab the jacket before you head out the door to walk the dogs, get ready to go to work or school. We're sitting in the 40s right now down into our coastal communities, yes, but also throughout our inland spots as well. A couple things we want to talk about, though. We head over to our coastal communities, starting off with the beach. Well, we still have that beach hazard statement issued by the National Weather Service with rip currents and sneaker waves possible. Starting tomorrow, you see all that green around me, the king tides are returning. It's a few times a year where we'll see the earth, the moon, and the sun all line up. And when that happens, it increases the gravitational pull on the ocean. And so that's the reason why we're going to see those king tides. Coastal flood advisory starts tomorrow, and that's going to last all the way into Sunday of next week. Now, daytime highs throughout all those coastal communities sitting in the 50s today. We'll see some low 60s in certain communities. I'll have more on this coming up in just a bit. Max?
All right, thank you for that, Jessica. Candles burning through the night in memory of the victims shot at a family birthday party in Stockton. 4 people were killed, 11 more injured during Saturday's shooting. This happened at this banquet hall around 6 o'clock on Saturday night. Investigators say up to 150 people were inside celebrating when gunfire rang out. Most of the victims are children, the youngest just 8 years old.
These animals walked in and shot children at a children's birthday party. And none of us should stand for that.
This morning, the search for the shooter or shooters continues. Stockton's Mayor Christina Fugazi released a statement condemning the violence. She also announced a $25,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or people involved. Brad Hamilton has the latest on what we know.
On Lucille Avenue in Stockton, Saturday night, a rented banquet hall was filled with families celebrating a child's birthday. But just after 6 o'clock, that celebration turned into chaos.
Last night, about 5:30, we heard gunshots, probably about 20 or 30, rapid fire.
Brent Terrell lives just down the street from where investigators say the shooting happened. He says the gunfire was so fast, no one had a chance to make sense of it.
Moms, parents, relatives, everybody was kind of running around frantically trying to find their family members, and then they started pulling out people, and there was a lot of CPR going on and a lot of ambulances coming and going.
The San Joaquin Sheriff's Office confirmed the ages of the 4 victims killed, 3 children, ages 8, 9, and 14, and a young adult, 21 years old. There are 11 other victims still in the hospital, but their conditions are unknown at this time. As for the suspect or suspects, none have been arrested so far. Earlier this afternoon, the mayor of Stockton released a statement on Facebook saying, quote, "Gang violence exists in cities across the country, but this act was a pure act of terrorism, a complete, cowardly terrorist act." Public Information Officer Heather Brent says they're being deliberate about what they release, not wanting to jeopardize their work identifying who opened fire.
We do not want our community to think that they are at danger. We do not believe that they are. We believe that this is a targeted incident.
But for neighbors, what they saw was terrifying regardless of motive. A second witness, who asked to remain anonymous, arrived as families were running towards the building, trying to find their kids.
When I was passing, there was like family members getting to the scene, asking, where are my kids? Like, kids just started running out. We're missing them. Where are they? Do you guys know anything?
He told us, whatever the dispute may have been, children should never be caught in the middle.
I don't know, even if it's between neighborhoods, you don't come to a kid's party and do this, you know? They got their way of selling stuff, but not a kid's party.
And for Terrell, a lifelong resident, what he saw last night has him rethinking everything.
I lived here my whole life. It makes you second guess where you're at, makes you kind of wonder where you're going and what the future is going to bring. Scary.
Tonight, detectives remain at what they call a massive and complex crime scene, methodically working to collect every piece of evidence to get answers for so many that are devastated by this tragedy.
We do not have a time frame, and time is not of our concern right now. Our number one priority is ensuring that we locate all evidence, that we do not leave one stone unturned.
And we'll have a live report from Stockton in the next few minutes. We'll have the very latest with the investigation and the search for the suspect or suspects on the CBS News app, kpix.com, and streaming on CBS News 24/7. Today, we also are expecting to learn more details about Friday's shooting at Valley Fair Mall in San Jose. 2 adults and a 16-year-old girl were injured there. San Jose police say they expect to release more information on the suspect. This cell phone video here gives you a sense of the chaos that ensued in the mall on Black Friday. The shooting happened in front of the clothing store Fresh Society near Macy's. Police say it was gang motivated. The suspect and the male victim got into an argument before the gunman opened fire. Stray bullets hit a woman and a teenager. One shopper says she pleaded for help as shots rang out.
I said, "Excuse me, somebody please help me, I'm blind, please guide me out." People ignored me, and then I said it a second time, and then there was this man who said, "Take my hand," and we briefly walked out. We didn't run, he was actually pretty calm.
The 3 victims are all expected to survive. Valley Fair is back open again for shoppers, but no arrests have been made at this time. Moving around the Bay now for headlines in your community. A big day today in San Francisco's Sunset District. Alan Wong gets ready to take the oath as District 4 Supervisor. Mayor Daniel Lurie picked this City College trustee to represent the Sunset after months of turmoil over this seat. Wong grew up in the Sunset, graduated from Lincoln High, and has twice served as president of the City College Board. He's also a first lieutenant in the California National Guard and a former aide to Supervisor Gordon Marr. We'll have more on his priorities for public safety, schools, and housing, and what he brings to the job coming up later in this show. The new appointment comes after the sudden resignation of Mayor Lurie's first pick, Bea Alcaraz. The controversy over the 29-year-old's business practices as a former pet store owner led to her stepping down after just 1 week on the job. If you or your child takes an e-bike to school in Menlo Park, listen up. Today is the first day of new rules for the Menlo Park City School District. Students ages 15 and younger are now banned from bringing e-bikes capable of going 20 miles an hour or faster onto school campuses. Authorities say this is all about safety. They've seen an uptick in crashes and the use of illegal modifications that make e-bikes go faster. The move follows similar e-bike restrictions in other counties across the Bay Area, such as Marin County. A heads up this morning for EV drivers, your special carpool lane privileges are no more. Starting today, the CHP will ticket and fine you if you're caught driving solo in the carpool lane, no matter what kind of vehicle you have. And these tickets, they are not cheap. $490. For years, solo drivers with clean air vehicle decals have been able to use the carpool lanes, but the program officially ended 2 months ago. The federal law that allowed it expired in September. Congress didn't renew it. Lawmakers in Sacramento tried and failed to extend it, so the CHP gave drivers a 60-day grace period. Now, EV drivers must follow regular carpool rules, just like everybody else. Today is World AIDS Day. It is a day to remember loved ones lost to the disease and to honor those living with HIV, still pushing back against stigma more than 40 years later. The Bay Area remains deeply connected to this day. The AIDS Memorial Quilt came to life here, And later this morning, the National AIDS Memorial in Golden Gate Park will hold its annual ceremony. At Lake Merritt, something new is taking root. Oakland's first AIDS Memorial Garden. Longtime HIV activist Jesse Brooks says this is a moment he never thought he would live to see.
I'm HIV positive myself, and I was diagnosed in '93, where people died.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to kind of get my feet, but then I got involved. I got involved in research, advocacy, and I remember sitting back in researchers' meetings way back, and I'm talking about in the 2000s, where they talked about all the advances that we have today. They were just dreaming these, and this is what we need. And we're finally here with all the tools and the education that we need to get to zero.
The garden will honor those lost, those thriving, and the researchers who pushed this fight forward. It is expected to break ground next year. The time is 6:11 on this Monday morning. After President Trump approved military action against Venezuela, some lawmakers are now calling for more oversight. The questions being raised coming up. And scammers ready to take advantage of a splurge of online shoppers. What you should know before you check out any Cyber Monday deals. And let's take you live outside on this Monday morning. A beautiful shot of the San Francisco skyline. Nothing like the Embarcadero Towers lit up during the holiday season. Jess will have your forecast after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are watching live video from our many monitors that bring us headlines from all across the globe. Democratic and Republican lawmakers now say they support congressional reviews of U.S. military strikes on boats suspected of smuggling drugs in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. Since early September, the Trump administration has acknowledged at least 19 strikes on alleged drug vessels in those waters. A Washington Post report says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a verbal order for a follow-up strike on September 2nd, intended to kill all remaining crew members on board that vessel. Hegseth calls that story, quote, fabricated, inflammatory, and derogatory, and he said it was fake news. Today, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, are set to travel to Moscow for another round of peace talks with Russian officials. On Saturday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio led a U.S. delegation in Florida that met for hours with Ukrainian negotiators, working on a plan to end Russia's war in Ukraine. Rubio says the U.S. is focused not only on stopping the fighting, but also on protecting Ukraine's sovereignty and setting it up for long-term security and prosperity. Luigi Mangione is set to appear in state court today. He is accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last December. Mangione's attorneys want his diary and other evidence to be thrown out, saying police grabbed it from his backpack without a warrant. Prosecutors disagree, so a judge will hear both sides. Mangione also faces a separate federal case where charges come with the possibility of the death penalty. A rough return from the holiday for many people across the Midwest. A powerful storm dumped heavy snow over several states, throwing a wrench in a lot of travel plans. Chicago saw more than 8 inches of snow by Sunday morning. And in Madison, Wisconsin, the city called a snow emergency after they got nearly a foot. This morning, investigators are still trying to piece together what led up to the mass shooting in Stockton on Saturday night. 4 people were killed, including 3 children, and 11 more were injured. Connor McGill joins us from CBS News Sacramento with the latest in the investigation. Connor, at this hour, as I understand it, police still do not have anybody in custody.
Well, good morning to you, Max. Here in Stockton, the crime tape is down, deputies long gone, and all that's really here at the scene is a makeshift memorial honoring the 4 lives lost during a mass shooting that happened over the holiday weekend in Stockton, California. The San Joaquin County Sheriff held a press conference yesterday laying out new details about the investigation. They say they've been working around the clock to identify who was responsible. Detectives believe there may have been multiple shooters. City leaders say they're fed up and are calling on those involved to come forward.
Parents brought their children out and they left with medical examiners. That is not human. Turn yourself in, because at some point, the redemption for what you did is going to happen when you see the person that created you.
Now, the sheriff's department did tow away multiple cars with bullet holes at the scene on Saturday. No word yet on any descriptions regarding a suspect or suspects. We're still waiting to see if we'll be able to get a press conference today or not, but we'll be monitoring things very closely here in Stockton. Max.
Connor McGill live for us in Stockton. Thank you. So many people looking for answers after this tragedy. Another small cluster of earthquakes struck the Bay Area just before 11 o'clock last night. This time they shook the North Bay. The USGS says a preliminary 3.3 magnitude earthquake struck close to Kenwood, not far from Santa Rosa. Smaller earthquakes measuring in at 2.7 and 3.1 also struck. Let's give you a live look now outside on this Monday morning. This looks like a beautiful shot above the clouds. This is just a typical December shot, Jess. The clouds and a beautiful sunrise above.
Oh my gosh, and did you catch last night's sunset? It was so stunning and very pink too. All right, so we're gonna keep a close eye on our friends all the way up in the North Bay after that cluster of overnight earthquakes struck communities all the way close to Santa Rosa, Rohnert Park area. So that's what we're monitoring this morning. Of course, we saw that 3.1 and then of course a 3.3 followed by a 3.1 and a 2.7 times 2. And so that's what we're monitoring closely this morning as we wake up and head out the door. Now, a couple other things we want to talk about heading out the door. It's off to a cool start throughout the Bay, sitting in the 40s right now, anywhere from San Jose off into the East Bay for our friends all the way up into Santa Rosa, Rohnert Park area too, where, of course, we all woke up to some rumbling in the overnight hours. A couple things I want to talk about before you head out the door. If you live along our coastal communities, we have that beach hazard statement issued by the National Weather Service. Choppy waters, rip currents, sneaker waves. It's the same drill as last week around Thanksgiving time, too. But what you see behind me, that green color, this is the coastal flood advisory. The king tides are back. This happens a few times throughout the year when the earth, the sun, and the moon all align, of course, influencing that gravitational pull on the ocean. So we could see some higher tides and coastal flooding as we head into our Tuesday forecast until Sunday of next week. So that's another thing that we're keeping a close eye on here in the Weather Center. Here's our daytime highs, by the way, mostly sitting in the upper 50s all throughout the Bay Area. It's a cool day for us today, but don't worry, we are going to start seeing some warming trends as we head into our midweek forecast. A couple other things to talk about, too. We woke up to some dense fog over into Solano County, grouped up with that Tule fog all throughout the Sacramento Valley. Watch what happens as I advance the clock just to 8, 9, 10 a.m. That Tule fog starts to bleed off. We're actually seeing drier conditions widespread throughout the Sacramento Valley and our communities too here in the Bay as we head into the afternoon and evening hours tonight. So some good news there. Visibility will start to increase as we head into the afternoon hours. A couple other things to talk about. 50s turning into 60s as early as tomorrow, but don't be shocked if we see those 50s return kind of back and forth throughout the Bay as we head into the rest of this week's forecast. It is a chilly setup for us this week, despite the fact that it is dry. So still have the jackets ready to go, the layers too. We're seeing that upper 50s and lower 60s trend kind of flirting back and forth each day throughout our inland spots too. We'll have more on that forecast coming up in a bit. For now, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. I'm looking forward to busting out some of these jackets finally in December. Let's talk traffic on this Monday morning. There is a crash in Oakland with some injuries to report. This is on southbound 880, just north of 23rd Avenue. The left lanes are blocked there. In San Lorenzo, there was a crash earlier this morning, but it is still leaving behind some slow traffic on northbound 880, just south of Hesperian Boulevard. Left lane still affected at about 6:21 this morning. The Altamont Pass, we are seeing slow and go conditions. Top speeds about 20 miles an hour right now. It looks like it's about a 45-minute commute through that stretch. And if we head on over to the Bay Bridge, it is your regular bumper-to-bumper. Metering lights are on. Welcome back to your morning commute after a holiday weekend. All right, 6:21 on this Monday morning. Despite another season of a lot of injuries, the 49ers have almost punched their ticket to the playoffs. We'll have highlights of their big win on the road coming up. And we might as well take you outside for another beautiful live look because it is a Monday morning and this picture certainly should give you a bright start to your day. Cotton candy skies. Jess will have more with the weather when we come back. The 49ers are riding high heading into their bye week after Sunday's win against the Cleveland Browns. Matt Lively has highlights from Cleveland in this morning's Red and Gold Report.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
Cleveland is home to the Dog Pound, and if that's the case, the 49ers put the Browns on a leash all game long here in Week 13 to improve to 9-4.
Brock said it right before we left to come out here, man. He feels like football starts after Thanksgiving, so we got to play our best ball in these last few games.
The morale is just different. You can see it. You know, we got guys on this team that know what last year felt like, and now we know what's at stake this year.
Looking from the outside in, if people would have said, hey, you guys are going to be 9-4 going into the bye and you're not going to have Fred Warner or Nick Bosa and Kittle's going to miss the first 5 weeks and Brock's going to miss 6-7 games, I think a lot of people would have laughed at everybody.
The Niners lucked out with the weather. Yeah, it felt like 19 degrees here at kickoff, but they avoided rain or snow, and you could say that some 49ers players like the frigid temps more than others.
You know, I'm from Arizona, played in Florida, so, you know, it was pretty chilly for me, but, you know, as far as playing, like, I like actually playing in cold weather like this. It makes it feel like you can run forever.
Hey, most importantly, you stay warm today?
All day long, you know it.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore.
The NFL just revealed another performer who will be taking the mic for the big game in Santa Clara. Pop star Charlie Puth will sing the national anthem at Super Bowl 60 in February at Levi's Stadium. He's the voice behind hits like See You Again and One Call Away. Puth will take the stage just before kickoff. 6:26 on this Monday morning. After his last pick resigned in just a matter of days, San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie is tapping another Sunset native to lead the district. His experience for the job coming up. Now let's go live out to Kevin Coe on a major project getting underway today in San Francisco. Kevin, tough spot to be.
Hey, Max, good morning to you. You know, starting this morning, traffic in the Sunset and beyond is about to get a whole lot more congested. We're live in the city with everything you got to know.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Thanks for joining us. Let's give you a live look outside at another beautiful shot of the sunrise here in San Francisco and off into the East Bay on this Monday morning. Doesn't get much better than that. Beautiful sunrises, fantastic way to start the day, but also we do have a dangerous beach condition we have to warn you about. They continue as we begin another week. Officials are warning of the potential for big sneaker waves and strong rip currents all along the coast. Waves could get as high as 14 feet, 10 to 14 feet. Just in the last month alone, at least 3 people have died along the Northern California coast after strong waves swept them into the ocean. Let's get to Jess now with more. Hey, Jess.
So we are still under that beach hazard statement right now. A couple other things we want to talk about when it comes to our coastal communities. We're not out of the clear just yet when it comes to some other issues too. So I'm going to pull up the map and we're starting off with that beach hazard statement in the blue color along our coastal communities. We were dealing with this last week. We're dealing with it again today. Now in the green color, you see that coastal flood advisory all throughout the bay down into the Santa Cruz area too. The reason why I want to pull that up is starting tomorrow, the National Weather Service has issued coastal flood advisories. When the sun, the earth, the moon, they all align, it really influences the gravitational pull on our oceans. And what we're going to notice here in the bay, it happens a few times a year, but we're going to notice those king tides returning. So coastal flooding is definitely possible starting tomorrow. And then on top of that, what Max mentioned, that beach hazard statement along our coastal communities, we have really strong and high waves, 10 to 14 feet high. Sneaker waves are definitely possible, rip currents too. So along those coastal communities right now, we're sitting in the 40s. We're seeing 40s all the way off into our inland spots too. Later today, our daytime highs are actually going to jump all the way up into the 50s. So not much of a difference actually as we head outside today. I'll have more on that coming up in just a bit, but for now, back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Jess. We can now continue to follow the latest out of Stockton. A $25,000 reward is being offered to help catch the shooter or shooters who opened fire at a child's birthday party. 4 people were killed, a 21-year-old and 3 children, ages 8, 9, and 14. 11 others were injured when that gunfire erupted inside the banquet hall on Saturday night. One witness lives just down the street from where investigators say this shooting happened. Here's how he described the moment.
Moms, parents, relatives, everybody was kind of running around frantically trying to find their family members, and then they started pulling out people, and there was a lot of CPR going on and a lot of ambulances coming and going.
The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office says it appears the party was targeted and believes there may have been multiple shooters. Investigators are urging anyone with video or information to come forward as the suspects remain at large this morning. A heads up for San Francisco drivers. If you drive 19th Avenue, brace yourself. A major construction project starts today and it could cause delays through the Sunset for months. Let's take a look at the map just below me. It stretches all the way from 19th and Lincoln up to 19th and Holloway Avenue. Caltrans crews are getting started near Sloat and 19th with lane closures and traffic backups expected for quite a while now. Our Kevin Coe is live from the middle of it all. Good morning to you, Kevin.
Max, good morning to you. You know, the weekend is over, but I am being blinded by the lights. Let me show you why. A live look right now. We are at the corner of 19th Avenue and Sloat, and there you have it. Caltrans crews are ready to go, but they're not going just yet because all of this work starts at 7 this morning. You know, all of this is covering about 3 miles on the road on State Route 1, 19th Avenue, but we got to tell you, the actual pavement that is being used, it's about 19 miles of it. So it's going to be a lot of pavement, a lot of work. And folks, may I remind you, it is December 1st. All of this work is going to be happening up until next December. So about a year of work starting at 7 a.m. this morning. All 6 lanes on 19th Avenue will be repaved, which means almost every single lane will be shut down. We're talking 4.5 lanes, but keep in mind, you can't drive on half a lane. So Caltrans is gonna have 1 lane open on each side of 19th Avenue, which means traffic will be congested. This work is going to be going on all day, but keep in mind Caltrans is alerting drivers that you should be just avoiding 19th Avenue altogether, especially during peak congestion hours, which is right now up until 10 a.m. and then around 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. throughout the week. This work also happening Monday through Friday, keeping that in mind, but all of the work that is going to be done, there's going to be a lot of cones and obstructions along the way too. Best to keep in mind that you should just avoid 19th Avenue if you can. Also, Caltrans wants to alert anyone taking buses that routes will be affected at some point, but this work is just beginning today. It's going to be going on for months and months. You're going to have to keep in touch with anything, all of your detailed routes specifically, to know if your stop may be moved as all this work continues on.
Routines changing as we head into the holiday season. All right, Kevin, thanks for that update. We'll check in just a little bit later in the show. San Francisco's Sunset District is set to get a new supervisor today following the abrupt resignation of the previously appointed supervisor, Bea Alcaraz. Mayor Daniel Lurie appointed the political newcomer after she approached him at a night market event in the Sunset following the recall of former supervisor Joel Engardio. The controversy over the 29-year-old's business practices as a pet store owner led her to stepping down just after 1 week on the job. So after a few more weeks of searching, the mayor has tapped Sunset District native Alan Wong for the job. He is expected to formally be sworn in today. Amanda Harry talked to the community about the appointment and what they're hoping his priorities are as their supervisor.
While the backdrop may be picturesque, the emotions in the Sunset District have been complex.
Well, there's been a lot of uncertainty in our neighborhood.
One topic of contention, this park, Sunset Dunes. And it led to ousting the supervisor. Now Mayor Daniel Lurie has appointed 38-year-old Alan Wong. Heidi Moseson is hoping it will turn the tides.
I'm optimistic based on what he said. It sounds like he has a history of being a consensus builder, and I think our neighborhood, we really need some consensus building out here.
Moseson loves the park. She brings her kids here almost every day, but others want their highway back. In September, the district voted to recall Supervisor Joel Engardio after he sponsored Proposition K. It permanently closed the 2-mile stretch of the Great Highway to cars, turning it into Sunset Dunes. Lisa Argis, who helped lead the Recall Engardio campaign, still has a lot of questions about Wong.
This is someone who is supposed to represent the district and some of the top of mind major issues for the district. Alan Wong has been unwilling or unable to take a position on, namely the Great Highway or the mayor's upzoning plan.
She wants him to take a stand.
I can tell you one thing, saying no comment is not going to be an acceptable answer on the 2 major issues for the district.
But president of Stop Crime SF, Frank Noto, thinks Wong will be a good fit, and he knows him well.
I was very enthusiastic. I've known Alan since he was 16 or 17. He joined the Democratic Club that I headed back in the day.
Noto describes him as a good listener and a son of the Sunset. He went to Lincoln High School.
He's been here all his life. He grew up with hardworking immigrant parents, and so he understands the travails that people go through. And he understands government because he was a legislative assistant for 3-4 years here.
He was an education policy advisor to the supervisor before Engardio, Gordon Marr. He currently works at the Children's Council of San Francisco.
I suspect his priorities will be public safety and education and families with children and the local merchants.
Moseson says she hopes Noto is right, and Wong focuses on all of those issues and more.
I'm looking forward to someone who can really prioritize the concerns of this neighborhood, which are, there's a lot of really pressing things the Sunset wants to see moving forward. And I think going backward on this park is not one of them. This park is an inevitability. This coast is changing.
Wong will serve as supervisor until June of 2026. That's when voters will choose who will finish the rest of the current term. Moving around the Bay for headlines in your community now. Today is the deadline for San Francisco city leaders to adopt any amendments for the controversial family zoning plan. Mayor Lurie's plan aims to increase housing by allowing for taller buildings in more parts of the city. The state is mandating the city adopts a new zoning plan to increase housing production or risks losing local control. Leaders in the city's land use committee will hold a final review on the plan today before it goes to the full board of supervisors tomorrow. A teenager is now behind bars after a deadly hit and run in Rohnert Park. Police tracked down the suspect after searching through the weekend. A 17-year-old from Petaluma is suspected of hitting and killing a pedestrian Friday night near Snyder Lane and Capri Way and then driving off. Investigators searched his home Saturday and found a black Chevy Silverado with front-end damage. The teenager now faces charges that include vehicular manslaughter. In Gilroy, police are asking the community to help identify 2 people who allegedly stole more than $6,000 in products from an Ulta beauty shop. They say the theft happened on Black Friday. They were last seen driving off in a burnt orange Honda CR-V. Every holiday season, CBS News Bay Area teams up with local food banks to ensure nobody goes hungry. Food insecurity is growing in the Bay Area. More families are struggling to make ends meet. And that's where food banks like Redwood Empire come in to close the gap. They cannot do it alone. They rely on a lot of help from people like you at home and grants from organizations like the Gilead Foundation.
Our goal is to address those wraparound needs as the Gilead Foundation. And we know that food plays a critical role in health. And so our focus on this program is really about partnering with these food banks to meet the needs of the community members where we have Gilead employees living and working.
This partnership helps Redwood Empire Food Bank respond to increasing demand, particularly among families who rely on school and community-based food programs. And you can find ways to give back in your community by scanning the QR code on your screen, or you can head to kpix.com/give to learn more. 6:40 on this Monday morning, Pope Leo traveling with a message of peace as a part of his first overseas trip, where his busy schedule is landing him next. Coming up. Welcome back. Watching live video from our many monitors that bring us headlines from across the globe. We start in Indiana, where House members are expected to push for a redrawing of the state's congressional districts in favor of Republicans. Republicans currently hold 7 of Indiana's existing 9 U.S. House seats. President Trump and other state Republicans want to change the map so all 9 seats go to the GOP. This would give the party 2 extra seats in the 2026 midterm elections that could determine control of the U.S. House. Pope Leo continues his first international journey, and he's bringing a message of peace. On Sunday, he arrived in Lebanon after 4 days in Turkey. At the presidential palace in Beirut, the Pope urged Lebanese political leaders to set aside differences and act as peacemakers. His call comes as the country battles economic struggles and rising tensions with Israel. Today marks 70 years since Rosa Parks took a stand by staying seated. On December 1st, 1955, she refused to give up her bus seat in Montgomery, Alabama, sparking the historic bus boycott. To honor her legacy, Monterey Salinas Transit is offering free rides all day across the entire system. Time now for a look at what is coming up later on CBS Mornings. Nate Burleson joins us live from New York. Nate, great to see you on a Monday morning. It's December.
That's right. It is December. Oh, man, it seems like yesterday. It was January 1st. It's good to see you, Max. Here's what's coming up on CBS Mornings. The holiday shopping rush continues on this Cyber Monday. So we will break down the record-breaking shopping numbers that we've seen since Thanksgiving. Plus, we will show you what's going on and what's being done to keep these scammers from stealing your money and your personal information. Also, Monday means Beg Knows America. David, he has another touching story. And this one started as a favor during the pandemic, and then it led to two total strangers becoming each other's lifeline. And CBS comedy, you know the comedy Ghosts, is one of our favorite shows around here. So actor Richie Moriarty will be in studio to talk about what's going on in this latest season. We'll also have everything you need to know, plus more on the show. So we'll see you at 7.
Sounds like a great rundown today. Thanks for that, Nate. We appreciate it. Let's give you a live look now outside here at our beautiful home here in the Bay Area. Another look above the clouds on this Monday morning. Jess, it really doesn't get much better than these live pictures. I just love the start of these days.
Such a soft, beautiful sunrise after such an epic, amazing sunset last night, too. And Max, I just saw your Instagram. Yeah, your photo was amazing. I didn't get a photo last night. No filter either. Last night's sunset was beautiful. We should see another one just like that tonight, so keep your eyes out for that. But this is what we're starting off this morning as the sun's starting to rise. 40s in the forecast, widespread throughout the Bay Area from the North Bay all the way off into the East Bay and for our friends along our coastal communities, too. Speaking of our coastal communities, turning on these colors real fast, they mean something for us. The National Weather Service has extended that beach hazard statement again today with waves anywhere up to around 10 to 4. We don't even need to zoom that out. We can zoom back in, actually. 10 to 14 feet high. Sneaker waves are possible. Rip currents are possible, too, all along our coastal communities. Now, starting tomorrow, you see this green color directly below me throughout the mouth of the bay. And, yeah, stretch down into Santa Cruz, too. The coastal flood advisory returns. King tides, return as the sun, the moon, the earth all align. That actually influences the gravitational pull on the ocean. And so we're going to see some really high water, too. Coastal flooding is possible starting tomorrow, lasting into Sunday this weekend. So that's another thing that we're keeping a close eye on. Now, let's head all the way over into our daytime highs real fast. Widespread throughout the bay today. It's pretty cool. I mean, you just saw we're sitting in the 40s right now. We're only warming up into the 50s throughout this afternoon, anywhere from San Jose all the way off into the East Bay and the North Bay as well. It's a very mild forecast for us outside today. Let's talk about some other things going on because it's partly cloudy right now throughout most of the Bay Area. Some dense fog still filling the Sacramento Valley, which bleeds into the Delta, so it impacts Solano County. Last week, we were dealing with dense fog advisories, but watch what happens really fast as we head into this afternoon. That Tule fog in the valley bleeds off. We clear up, and we'll just see mostly sunny skies throughout the afternoon hours today. So taking a look at the Bay forecast behind me, upper 50s and lower 60s, that's the trend for us all week long. With partly cloudy skies for the most part, we'll see sunnier conditions tomorrow. We'll catch a break and see some sunnier conditions kicking off this weekend by Friday, but those temperatures stay pretty mild all throughout the Bay. We head over into our inland spots, not a lot of changes over there either. We're all hand in hand this time of year with these daytime highs, partly cloudy skies, and at least no drops of rain in sight anytime soon. Back to you.
Looks like a good December forecast to me. Thanks for that, Jess. Let's get out to our traffic map and check on your morning commute now. In Oakland, we are still tracking an injury accident on southbound 880 just north of 23rd Avenue. Traffic really crawling in that area right now. People going about 5 miles an hour, and it looks like it's going to take at least 25 minutes to get through that stretch. In Sonoma, we're seeing heavy delays due to a crash on southbound 680 at Calaveras Road. That is affecting the right lane. And for public transit, BART is experiencing a 10-minute delay on the Dublin-Pleasanton line. This is apparently because of an equipment problem. Plan ahead and expect some delays in your travel this morning. The good news, all other transit agencies seem to be running on time. We'll try to get to the bottom of that BART situation and report more as we learn it. That's a look at your morning commute.
Looking good, looking good.
After a month of not shaving to raise money for men's health issues, Alameda County firefighters finally got to get a trim. They got together at the Livermore Barbershop to clip their mustaches and beards after Movember. The charity event raised more than $10,000. Well, it is now December, which means for many people it is time to pick up a Christmas tree. One of the oldest tree lots in San Francisco, open for business over the weekend, and people are loving it. Watch.
Merry Christmas, San Francisco!
The Guardsman lot has been selling trees since 1947. The proceeds go to summer camps and after-school programs for at-risk youth in the Bay Area.
I love the Guardsmen. I love all the wonderful things they do for the community, and they have the best trees.
Not to mention a bounce house.
The last day of the tree lot is December 18th. Dub Nation got into the holiday spirit on Sunday. Thrive City hosted its 6th annual Winter Wonderland tree lighting ceremony. Warriors officials tell us the 90-foot tree is the largest in the Bay Area. The celebration included live music, pictures with Santa, and an appearance by Warriors legend Festus Ezeli. The Big Top has made its way to San Francisco's Oracle Park. The world-famous Cirque du Soleil's new show, Echo, has taken over Mission Bay. One of the performers says Echo is a contemporary story with all the kinds of tricks the audience will know and love.
The adrenaline and the audience, when you land the tricks and you have a good reaction from the audience, it's really good for the feeling, yeah.
Cirque du Soleil's Echo is open now and runs through January 18th. The time is 6:51, building bridges through education. The kids working towards a college degree while in juvenile hall. Next. And let's take you live outside for another beautiful shot of the bay. This is the view from Treasure Island looking at the Bay Bridge and part of the San Francisco skyline. Stay with us.
Now you can get your KPIX news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
Welcome back. It's now time for your MoneyWatch report. Let's give you a live look at the big board on this Monday morning, starting December, slightly in the red today, but it is the beginning of a new day. We know how these things can change quickly. Cyber Monday is here and shoppers are ready to spend big. Online deals could push spending to a record today, with Americans already shelling out about $11.8 billion online on Black Friday. That was up just over 9% from last year. But cybersecurity experts say stay sharp while you click. They warn about fake websites, too good to be true deals, phishing emails, and odd payment requests like gift cards or crypto. They say stick to trusted retailers, type in URLs yourself instead of using random links, and use secure payment options like credit cards or digital wallets. In the coming months, California homeowners could expect to see a new charge on their monthly insurance bills. This is to help pay for claims arising from this year's devastating Los Angeles wildfires. According to filings viewed by the Bay Area News Group, most of the fees will be temporary and will only be a few dollars a month. The filings say the average total payout will be around $50 to $60 over the course of 2 years.
All right, Carrots, any idea where you want to start?
Now for a look at the box office numbers, it was a big weekend for sequels. Disney's Zootopia 2 led the pack, pulling in about $96 million in North America and racking up roughly $556 million globally since opening on Wednesday. That's the biggest global opening ever for an animated film. Wicked for Good followed with about $63 million in its second weekend. And Now You See Me, Now You Don't took in around $7 million. In a story about hope, UC Berkeley professors teach ethnic studies and other programs at the San Leandro Juvenile Justice Center. And in fact, this could mean the first time in history where an incarcerated youth graduates with a UC Berkeley degree. Suji Nam takes us inside the Juvenile Justice Center, where we meet the woman building bridges with this initiative.
For Shawnee Shea, stepping inside a classroom is personal.
We are in the UC Berkeley cross-enrollment classroom.
As the founder of Incarceration to College, Shea helps oversee Cal professors teaching ethnic studies at the San Leandro Juvenile Justice Center.
What is foundational violence? What is the logic of racialization? I am formerly incarcerated. I am a 6-time felon, as some people will call me, and I experienced domestic violence throughout my life.
But Shea found her light when a mentor suggested college. And at the age of 28, she had gotten into UC Berkeley.
I started going back to school literally out of fear of poverty and fear of not having access to a meaningful employment.
And now, with a bachelor's degree from Cal and a master's from Harvard, Shea is helping incarcerated youth find their purpose in life.
We had a convening the other day. One youth said, the truth is that the only way out of my environment was literally to become a basketball player or a rapper. Education is their opportunity to re-engage in the world that has pushed them out time and time again.
Paris, who asked to remain anonymous, is taking courses with UC Berkeley and Laney College.
I'm currently on my way to getting a double AA in social studies and language arts English.
He's been in juvenile detention for nearly 3 years and has 1 more year left to serve.
It's been my motivation to leave here as a man instead of a child.
And Paris is looking forward to earning his diploma and a life outside of incarceration.
Something I can put on my wall and tell my kids I did it. A lot of my family never finished college. That's giving courage to my mom to go back to school and finish school, and she's currently enrolled in college as well.
And for Shay, students like Paris is what motivates her every day.
We know that our youth are more than sports. There's nothing wrong with that. We love that. But that's the hope that we want. We want our youth to feel powerful. We want them to know that they are powerful.
Empowering students on a similar path to her own to keep going.
Incarceration to college is operating in 3 counties: San Francisco, Contra Costa, and Alameda. Shay says they serve around 500 students across this region. Coming up on Pix Plus, 44 Cable 12, investigators are trying to track down who opened fire at a child's birthday celebration in Stockton, California, killing 4 people, including 3 young children. We're there live with the latest on this investigation. And a new city supervisor takes the oath of office today in San Francisco. Details on the man appointed by Mayor Daniel Lurie to represent the Sunset District after the previous appointee abruptly stepped down after just a week on the job. And let's send you live outside for another beautiful shot of the sunrise on this Monday morning. This is a great way to welcome in the month of December. Doesn't get much better than that. We hope you can join us on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12. That's where we'll continue this conversation and get you up to speed on all the news headlines you need to know as we kick off a new month. And Jess will have a look at your forecast when we see you on 44 Cable 12.